Again, due to their different sports, the skills needed for these two coaches differ as well. For example, for a football manager, communication with your players is vital throughout the game in order to give your team the best chance of winning. When Sir Alex Ferguson was manager of Man United, you'd have always seen him out of his seat in the technical area, telling his players what he wants from them, which will also reinforce confidence in their players, as they can see their manager is doing the best to help them. This is a lot different in cricket, where Trevor Bayliss will rarely speak to his players during a game, leaving a lot of the responsibility on the captain, who is the on-field manager, if you like. This can negatively affect the players playing under Bayliss because they may be struggling looking for confidence, cannot see their coach for words of advice until a drinks or a break, meaning if they have the chance to take a catch before then, they may drop it as they are lacking confidence or underaroused, and they cannot speak to their coach until the break. The next comparison I'm going to look at is my two cricket coaches. This is Trevor Bayliss and Dan Bingham. Even though Dan Bingham and Trevor Bayliss are coaches in the same sport, as one is an elite coach, whereas the other is a non-elite coach, certain roles and responsibilities are different. Health and safety is a role of coach that is important in all sports, especially in cricket. However, it is much more important for my non-elite coach Dan Bingham to make sure health and safety is enforced. This is for several reasons, one of them being the fact that as Trevor Bayliss coaches at an elite level, he's likely to have a physio and staff that can deal with the injuries, whereas Dan Bingham will not have any other people to deal with injuries and he will have to do it by himself, meaning it isn't vital that Dan Bingham has a wide range of knowledge of health and safety, whereas it's not as important if Trevor Bayliss has a wide range of knowledge or not, because there are others who deal with the injuries, like the physiotherapists and the sports conditioning coaches. Another reason that health and safety is more important for Dan Bingham is the fact that he's working with younger participants, and he needs to make sure that they are safe, as they will have a lot less knowledge, unlike the elite athletes that Bayliss works with, who will be adults and will have some common sense as well, which the students, younger participants that Dan Bingham coaches wouldn't have, perhaps. The next comparison I'm going to do is Sir Alex Ferguson and Tim Henry, my elite and non-elite football coaches. This comparison, in many ways, is quite similar to the Trevor Bayliss and Dan Bingham one, even though Bayliss is an elite coach and Ferguson is an elite coach and Henry is a non-elite coach. They're both in friendships with the people they coach. However, the rules both apply to them, and it is very important that neither of them cross the line. What I mean by this is that both coaches will need boundaries with their players. Also, it's important that they do not become too friendly with the player, because this may lead to them getting better treatment from the coach, meaning that the other players will get annoyed and their effort levels will decrease as a result, as they may get jealous or they will feel hard done by, that their good work isn't being recognised as well as the other who has more of a friendship with the coach. Therefore, it is important that Sir Alex and Tim Henry in football make sure that they use their friendships or the friends positively. This is by allowing the players to come to them with any problems they have and offering help. This will hopefully reduce stress levels and allow the players to continue playing the sport they love. However, both managers may innovate differently due to their experience and the level of performance. For example, Tim Henry may use coaching techniques that have been seen on the FA website, as he is a non-elite coach, whereas Sir Alex will have tried a various amount of coaching ideas over the past years where he has been coaching. As a result of his experience, he will have altered his methods to suit his players and what keeps them happy, as he's seen in the past what his players like and what they dislike. This can have a negative effect for my non-elite coach Tim Henry, as it means he may struggle to motivate his players as the session is basic, because the players have seen and done it before, and are bored because it's becoming repetitive, as where they seem to go. The coaching is very similar and there's not really much variation, which is why it could potentially not be able to motivate them. And it could also lead to, when players are playing games, may show a lack of creativity, and something different that will enable them to win. This is different to Sir Alex, who will have different training methods for different types of games. For example, if the ability of the team they're playing are very good, then he will adapt to a defensive style of play, which Tim Henry, due to experience, might not have the tactical knowledge to do this because of experience and the experience of innovating training sessions. Equal opportunities is a responsibility which will also vary for these two coaches. This is because Sir Alex will pick the players he wants to buy based on age. He would rather spend the money on a younger player which will be able to play for longer, compared to an older player who may have to retire after a few years. Sir Alex Ferguson would always also take into account to ability, of course, of the performer. He'd want the best players in order to improve the team. This is because Sir Alex Ferguson is an elite coach and he will only want the best players in order to win. This is because his job is based on a results business, and if he starts losing, it may cost him his job. This is very different from my non-elite coach Tim Henry's perspective. This is because he will allow anyone to join in and will not discriminate against anyone. This is because his level of football is much more recreational based, and it is for people who may not always be able to get active to get involved and try and improve their fitness, but to mainly have fun, which is completely different to Sir Alex, who is playing to win. Both of these two coaches will have organisational skills, but this is for different reasons. Tim Henry will need good organisational skills in order to make sure he has the facilities booked and equipment booked in order to carry out his session, whereas Sir Alex would need to be very organised so the sessions run smoothly and he makes the most of his time. Because the gaps between games can be very short and he will need to prepare for a game in the 2 days perhaps, so every minute is vital. Therefore, he needs to clear methods of how to start a session, to make sure he's not wasting time as every minute is valuable. Sir Alex, however, will not have to book any equipment or facilities as club have a large amount of money and have their own facilities. Unlike my coach Tim Henry, who will have to look into booking sessions and getting sessions ready in that way and booking out equipment. This is part 2 of my assignment. This is performance profiling first. I'll talk about. Performance profiling is a subjective method of analysing player performance. It depends on the player being able to reflect on their previous performances. It works by attempting to increase the athlete's motivation, monitoring any changes in the performer over time, finding an appropriate time to intervene with the performer. Performance profiling works by a coach identifying a range of important attributes and abilities which are needed in order to perfect the skills. After this, the athlete will have his say on the importance of each of these attributes and his own rating of his ability in these areas compared to his coach's opinion. For example, if you are performance profiling someone's ability to face pace bowlers in cricket, the coach will take out what he feels is important for a batsman, and so will the athletes, which should create something like this here, which you can see shows what sort of skills are needed and the areas of it, like scoring off the back foot and scoring off the front foot. You can see as all the possible factors which are needed as well. It will then allow the athlete to see what he needs to improve in order for his performance to increase overall. A positive of using this performance profiling method is it takes the opinion of both the coach and the athlete. I mean, it creates a very good depth and analysis of what the athlete needs to improve on and what he's good at. This is good because it allows the athlete to see what he needs to do in order to take his game to the next level. A disadvantage, however, could arise from this technique because the coach and athlete could disagree on the strengths and weaknesses are. I mean, a complete breakdown as a session is they cannot come to an agreement to what needs to be improved and what the athlete is good at. Another positive is the fact that the athlete can have his confidence increased because he can see what he is good at. This could benefit performance as the increased confidence could enable the batsman to play fearlessly, which can improve his performance as he doesn't go into his shell as such and is worried about getting out. Another weakness, however, that may come across as the athlete that there are lots of areas that he's not very good at, which could decrease motivation to play the sport as he feels he is not very good at it. Also, it will affect the player's performance because he will feel he cannot take any risks, fearing he will be dropped if something goes wrong, and therefore being very defensive and not very positive. This technique, I feel, is effective because it will allow the performer to see what they're good and bad at, allowing the performer to improve their weaknesses, and this overall will help them to become a better player because they're improving the game that does need work on instead of focusing on the things they're good at in training, allow them for the game to become to the next level as they have a wider range of shots. For example, in cricket, they can use to face a pace bowler. This may be a short ball. They may not be very good at cutting the ball, but if they started working on it, it'll give them another possibility to do when the ball is being bowled at them. The next technique I'm going to look at is observational performance analysis. This technique is where the coach will watch and review an athlete's performance in a game. This can be done in two different ways. These are direct observation and indirect observation. Direct observation is where the coach will watch the athlete's performance and he will actually be there, and may involve using recorded equipment. Indirect observation is where the coach will rely on information relayed by other people about the athlete, and may also involve filming equipment. When using this technique, you will look to note down the strengths of the player's performance, but also their weaknesses and the things they need to work on to improve their ability. An example of this could be a scout in football. He could be there at the game making notes of a player, giving the player a chance to impress. An example of an indirect observation could be a manager watching the footage from the scout and looking at the positives and negatives. This could be a scout looking at a striker, which can be making notes about his finishing, hold-up play, etc. The factors that are important for football. A benefit of using this technique is it will allow the coach to find exactly what he is looking for, because he could have a lot of attributes that he's looking for. He will look for a player that ticks all the boxes, allowing his team to improve to the max and to get the best out of the player. Another benefit is the fact that the coach could watch all the footage back. This allows the coach to focus on other players he could potentially sign, and still come back to this player and refresh his memory of the ability the player has. A negative of this technique, however, is the player may not have a good enough opportunity to showcase his ability. This is because it is only one game, and every player can have one bad game, and the coach may only have seen this player have one bad game, and he could have potentially missed out on very good players. He only gave them one chance. This technique is effective because it allows a coach to identify potential aspects they are looking for in a player, or it could allow them to find a player who ticks all the boxes they are looking for, because they can watch a performance over and over. The next method I'm looking at is fitness assessment. This is another technique that a coach can use to view a player's technique. Fitness assessments commonly occur in pre-season, so all the players have the required levels of fitness for the new season. The coach will be looking for results that reach a certain level to say they are ready to perform again and ready for the new season. An example of this could be the multi-stage fitness test. A coach will use this before football season starts. The coach will look for a score which exceeds the minimum needed in order to run for a full 90 minutes. For example, this could be like 11.0. The coach then will use this to see which players are ready to start the first game of the season. It may also give him thoughts of players that actually want to play for him, as they can see their fitness levels have not deteriorated over the summer, and it may make him want to sell players which aren't fit enough. A positive of this technique is that it will show that if there are clear improvements / declines in an athlete's fitness, which will allow the manager to see if they are match fit to play a game. Another positive is the fact that it will make players think twice about letting their diet slip during the off-season, as they will realise that they will have to go through the grueling fitness assessments in order to get them ready for the season approaching. And it also allows the manager to have a clear understanding of their fitness, which wouldn't have without this tech.